There we go. So right away, kids work. This is what we used to call in our teacher prep programs a pre-assessment. Remember that? But we all quit doing pre-assessments because it was too laborious. Well, now we have things like thin slides where we can find out what they know in only 3 minutes. I don't have to hand out papers, put names on papers, get pens out, collect the papers, grade the papers. Feedback comes 2 days later. I'm using tech to do it immediately. I give the kids feedback. Wow, those are really cool thin slides. Can I show you a couple more things about area and perimeter? I give them some direct instruction, and then they get right on it. And then we do another round. And that repetition thing is really critical in protocols. The repetitions, if you heard our little pre show there, the repetitions look like this. And this is called the forgetting curve. If you guys want to open a new tab, you can. This is a forgetting curve right here. If I do something one time, over days and weeks later, my retention's down here in the 10 and 12% range. If I do that thing a second time or a second week, now my retention is more like this. I'm in the, let's say, 40% range. If I do this thing a third and fourth time, look where my retention is. I'm up here in the 70, 80% retention level. And it's
And it's
really a
really
big deal on getting learning locked in. And what if you've ever had this experience? And Jenny, I would love to hear from you just real quickly. You're teaching something like nouns or verbs, and the kids are like stunned. They have no idea what you're talking about, and you know for a fact that they did that the year before. Have you ever had that experience?
Yes, yes. Myself too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, certainly, plenty of times.
So one of the reasons I think that that's happening with people, and I say I think because I haven't done like big brain research, but imagine that we do nouns for a week and then verbs for a week and then adjectives for a week. At some point, the stuff that's 3 weeks old gets pushed out of my short-term memory. And that's why one of the protocols that the original ones is called 8 parts, because instead of doing one part a week, for 1 week, so 1 week of nouns, 1 week of verbs, 1 week of adjectives, in 8 parts, we do all 8 parts every week, which means over 4 weeks, you're going to see 75% more variations of nouns and verbs. It makes a really big difference. So these are some ones you guys can look over. I would strongly encourage you to look these over because I'm doing the faster version today because my power's out. But this is what good teaching looks like: input, question, response, monitor, feedback. Notice how that happened with the thin slides. Input, Google gives us the input. I ask the question previous to the input. So I'm changing the order there. The kid has a response, and look what it says: elicit a unison response. Atusa, I would argue that if every kid makes a slide, that's a unison response, correct? And
Yep.
then I'm monitoring how good or bad they did, and then I'm giving them immediate feedback. That is also including praise. Look what it says right here: affirm, praise, or effort. Affirm, praise, or effort, and then it says immediately correct errors. In a thin slides mode, I see the answers immediately, so I can also make the corrections immediately. So you guys will get this slide in your slides, but I think this is a really powerful graphic that sometimes we lose when we're trying to, quote, get through the whole book, or we're trying to what's the word, move through the pacing guide, or we're trying to stay on tempo to be ready for the assessment. We're not doing these kinds of things. And here is another graphic that I showed you for the first time yesterday too. So this is Rosenshine's Principles of Instruction. And Rosenshine actually brought this out in the 1980s. He's very popular in England, but not very well known in the US. But what I love about this little graphic, and again, you guys can study it and I'll be happy to go over it with you guys later. Check this out. This side right here is the classroom practice side. Daily review, small steps, ask questions, provide models, scaffolding and support, independent practice. We know all those things. But what I love about this chart is this is how the brain science is an interactive web. So this is the brain science side, and this is the classroom side. This is how all those different things are connected. And it's really important to be aware of those things when you're doing lesson design, or what's going to happen is you're going to leave chunks out. And my favorite thing with Rosenshine is this one right here, which I don't think I hear us talking about very much in class. Obtain a high success rate. Rosenshine's research shows that you should not move on from the subject matter until the class has 80% skill, 80% passing, 80% comprehension of a given skill. I don't think we're doing that a lot in class because I've been through a lot of training and I've never really been cognizant of that until I started doing the protocol stuff. So, and again, quick review here. Thin slides are one word, one image, one slide in 3 minutes. So here was one of the great things about going back to the classroom 2 years ago now, which is already making me sad that it was 2 years ago. How many of you have experienced this feeling? Okay, we have a review coming up. Jenny, are you with me? We got a review for the quiz. So the way a lot of people will do that is they will make a PowerPoint on Sunday, and it takes a good 2 or 3 hours to put it together. And I'm super excited. And then when I get to work and start showing the kids, they're less engaged than ever. And I don't know why, but review for kids is code for I don't have to do anything. And so they are less engaged than they might normally be. That's one way we do review. Now, I've seen more and more people doing this way of review. Oh, so I made a 40-question quizzes, or I made a 40-question booklet or whatever. Again, I'm investing 2, 3, 4 hours on the weekend on this review. And then the kids are super unengaged. So I had this moment last year or 2 years ago where I said, okay, we need to review, but I don't want to spend my time on the weekend making the review. I want to put this on the kids. How can I do this? So this is when the Thin Slide Study Guide was born. And here's how we do it. So think the thin slide, right? One picture, one word. There's a couple little variations though. Each kid in this case gets a pre-assigned vocabulary word. So in your world, Jenny, you had mentioned area and perimeter. One kid gets a slide on area, the next kid gets perimeter, the next kid gets volume, the next kid gets cube, the next kid gets pyramid. So everybody's getting their own word in this model. In a classic thin slide, we're all doing one word. We're ganging up on one word. But in a thin slide, everybody gets their own word. And look at these magic words right here. Google it. Just go Google it. You can straight up copy the definition. But then, and this is my teacher passive aggressive side, you do the definition in your own words. I'm going to see how good you are at paraphrasing. And then you simply add one image. But the cool wrinkle is, Jenny, today, let's say you're doing perimeter and Atuso's doing area. Tomorrow, you switch. Now you're collaborating on the slides. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to build, and we're going to have 5 minutes to share. So think about this, you guys. All I've got to do is open up the slides. In fact, I can be even lazier. I can literally just write the words on the board and go, Jenny, your perimeter, Atusa, your area, Amy, you're going to be cone, Vicky, your cube, KJ, I'm giving you sphere. I can literally just give the kids the words and they fill them in by themselves. There's a 5-minute expectation to do the following things. Google it, paraphrase it, add a picture. Now here's where, again, it gets really fun. On day 2, everybody gets a new word and we play another round. And so now the kids are hearing the vocabulary words from multiple kids. And now if you think this is kind of cool, but maybe too little, this is my friend Jacob. He teaches AP English. So his English 10 kids, we're doing a thin slide study guide on logical fallacies. I'd say that's pretty pinky up. And so Jacob didn't have to do a lot of prep. Jacob simply had to give the kids the ability to share. So here's a couple of sample ones for you guys, and you're getting all the slides, so you can use these templates. So this is one of the warm-ups. Another quick sidebar. We do a lot of the protocols. We start with a low cognitive model. So for the first day, we're just going to do favorite video game. And so this kid copied this. You can tell it's copied. And then this kid wrote it in their own terms. And this kid was Natalie. So tomorrow, another kid will put their name here. I'm going to go with Bob. And then Bob simply has to make this smaller, change the font size a little bit here. Let me get that. I'm working with a different screen today because I'm not on my normal computer. So Bob can simply make that smaller, and then they can put their game, which is Pac-Man. So they add the Google definition in their own words and a new picture. Here's another person. Sulamar, hers was favorite movie, and she chose a different tactic. So she put the word favorite and the word movie, and then definition in her own words, and she put a couple of interesting pictures. So think of how much less work this is for the teachers, Atusa. And how often do we have 4Cs going on in review?
I
Review
could
is,
see, oh, I was gonna say,
keep
I
going.
could also see this becoming the quiz,
This could be the
right? Like,
driver. Yeah.
but it could also, like, you pull the paraphrase definitions or
Yep.
the image, and you make the quiz directly out of the things the kids produced. Or you could swap
Exactly.
with another class as another way to study, like remove the term,
And so what do
send
we
your
know about
slides to another
reciprocal
class.
teaching? It's one of the most powerful things you can do, right? We know this. Second, if the kids are making the quiz for me, what's my weekend looking like? Way more football. So this is teaching better and working less in action. So here's another format for you guys. This is a different layout, but same concept. So Nathan did his, and his was the word is Pharaoh, and we put Egyptian so they wouldn't just come up with any old Pharaoh. Any person who uses power. Here's Hope's answer. Here is the paraphrase, and here is the paraphrase, and then two pictures. And then next word is scroll. Again, Egyptian scroll, because we want them to do an effective search. So Jadith did this. Naima did this, and boom, boom. And then if they want on this format, they could write a sentence for bonus points. And then here's another one. Vizier. Again, you can see definitely copied, rewritten in their own words, and then they found some imagery for this. You guys, I can set these up in under 10 minutes. And then we play 10 minutes Monday, 10 minutes Tuesday, 10 minutes Wednesday, and boom. And Jenny, I don't know, have you seen GimKit at all? Okay, so GimKit is a tool. It's like Bulletkit. It's really fun and really cool. But guess what GimKit has? It has a mode called Kit Collab. So imagine this, Jenny, to your point. On day 3, we have now done the same slide deck 3 times. It's day 3. I give each kid the opportunity to work in a team to submit at least 4 questions. And in Kit Collab, they can type in their questions and their distractors, and I can accept or delete it on the fly. So I go, okay, here comes another one, table 4. Not good enough. Try again. That distractor, Jesus Christ, too far off from Egypt. That's everybody's going to know that's not a real one. Now we're collaboratively building the quiz, which means even less weekend time for me and even more recursive and reciprocal learning for the kids. It's really, really cool. And so I really love this model. And again, the templates are in here. I'm going to pause for a second so that the audience can throw some questions at me. How am I doing so far? Is this making sense? And you guys are super chatty today, so make sure you take turns. Okay, if you hate it, let me know. I'll settle for anything right now. One other thing you guys
John,
can
I'll
do
pipe
too,
in. I'll pipe in. I'll pipe in.
you guys can drop your grade levels into the chat too. I forgot to ask your grade levels, so you can
That's
just put a 5 or a 3. Go, Atusa.
I was just going to say, this is just, again, I think I said this yesterday, but it's definitely modeling this idea around collaboration, that
Mhm.
the teacher is not the sage on the stage,
Right.
but
I'm
that this is
facilitating
their
a learning
learning.
process. I'm not just dumping info,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And what a great way to model it for the kids on how to collaborate, around their learning.
All right, KJ. KJ comes in with a question. I feel like sending her a Starbucks gift card right now. So KJ, thin slides works great for first grade. In fact, you're going to cover about 8 or 9 different standards in first grade by doing that. You can do roots, leaves, stems, days of the week, calendars, clocks, times. This session is built for really like 3rd through 8th. So if you teach first, second, third, ask me questions because I'll tell you how you can tune all of these for the littler guys and littler gals. So for example, Thin Slide Study Guide might be a little bit of a big bite for first and TK, but I think I can send you examples from a couple of my teacher friends who are doing this very actively in first and second grade. Not a problem. And then Shannon, to your grade level, I will tell you guys, I was kind of terrified of TK3 before this year, but this year I visited 185 classrooms throughout the world and did classroom takeovers. And I'm here to tell you the techniques I'm showing you. You modify the delivery. Sometimes there's more paper. Sometimes there's more direct instruction. Sometimes you scaffold it differently. But the basic techniques work very, very successfully in a TK 1, 2, 3 setting. In fact, just for you guys right now, watch this. Tusa, can you see my screen because I switched tabs?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to type in Seesaw Ben Cogswell. There he is. For you guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Ben uses these protocols. Look how many likes this dude has. He has like YouTube numbers in this, and he's got a ton of protocols built in to all of his seesaws that you can steal. Well, it's not really stealing, but it's kind of acquiring. So I'm going to put that link in there. That's Coach Ben. He has over 250 seesaws. Now, not all of them are protocol, but a lot of them have like a protocol mindset. The other one for primary is Techie Gen, and some fun facts are my co-author Marlena. She actually has 20 plus years in first grade, and she helped me design a lot of these. So she was being mindful of kindergarten, first grade, all the way through. So this is all of techie gen stuff. So I just gave you guys like 400 lessons right there that are built for kindergarten and first grade. FYI, Ben's school is 85% second language learners. So yes, the protocols do work on ELs very effectively as well. So, okay, right on. And then I've got a TOSA in here. So Michael, here's the deal. And Tusa and I talked about this yesterday. We're going to be doing some adult learning right now. Protocols are ideal for professional development because all I have to do is change the subject matter. So if I wanted to teach people on SEL, I could give them a binder and lecture for an hour and a half, or I could drop them into quizzes and let them play on key terms until they get an A. One of those activities is going to be far more welcome and far more far more engaging than the other. Now, another little sidebar, and then we're going to do our first hands-on protocol here. So a lot of people will say this, oh, but I loved worksheets as a kid. What's the problem with worksheets? Here's my answer to that. A, it is fine to love worksheets. And I will tell you, there's a lot of cool stuff on TPT, even though I don't love TPT as a pedagogical practice. Here's why we can't do worksheets anymore. They don't result in academic growth. This is 1970 to 2010. These are reading, math, and science scores. They are not resulting in academic growth. And guess what our job is? Our job is academic growth. So it's not that I'm anti-worksheet as much as they just don't work for most of the kids. That's the problem. And they also, if you're doing them on paper, they result in stacks and stacks of activities for you to grade. And what happens with a lot of teachers is that becomes smiley face, star, or check mark because I am not going to have time to take 40 questions and answer each one times 30 kids. It's just too much math. So these stats are the US versus the US, and they are not compared to Finland or some monoculture or some highly funded country that's super into education. This is the United States versus the United States. And if you guys look through the CASP scores, Atusa, can you back me up on this? CASP scores have been flat for the last 7 years, you guys. In fact, COVID was a huge benefit to the CASP people because we were getting ready to announce that over 5 years, COVID cash scores were completely flat, and we're spending like $120 million a year on that thing. Any thoughts on that, Atusa?
I'm totally going to trust you on this, but the evidence of it, we live with it,
Yeah,
right? We're living
look
with
it
it
up.
in our schools. Yeah.
Yeah, just look up CASP, low scores, CASP, no results, CASP, incremental. It's all there. All right, so now we're going to do our first hands-on today. So we showed you Thin Slide. Thin Slide's one picture, one word. It's built for speed. Ideally, and this is not true of my TK 2-3. It might take 10 minutes in TK 1-2-3, but like fourth grade up, I give the kids 3 minutes. All they've got to put is one picture, one word. They'll get faster as they go. This is thick slides, and it's basically a deconstructed paragraph, if that's a good way to think about it. So these are the elements in a thick slide. And if you think about it, it's really just note taking. So basically, we have first and third person quotes, 2 pictures with captions, a title and a subtitle. And Jenny, I'm very purposeful about the subtitle because kids don't read subtitles, and a subtitle is a sort of a short summary. Chuck Norris, Back to Vietnam, part 36. And I like kids being able to take a longer format thing and cutting it down to 3 to 4 words. They add 4 to 6 facts, and then they compare it with something else. Okay. And so instead of doing a classic 5-paragraph essay, I can have my kids do 5 thick slides. So now I'm going to show you some student work and show you what it looks like in student voice and student activity. And again, for who's Michael Mitosa, imagine people reading an article about classroom clutter or what's another good one? SEL, UDL, anything you want to share with them, have them read an article and then do a thick slide. And so the thick slide, when it's executed by the kid, looks like this. I'm going old school right here, you guys. This is one of my students from 2003. Some of you weren't even born yet. I'm not sure about that. Maybe you were born. This is a student did this in my 6th grade class in 2003. Look at the different elements that are here. So we have title, subtitle, 4 to 6 facts, compare citizens and non-citizens. It's worth pointing out this is not a Venn diagram. I think a Venn diagram takes too long. So in this case, I'm just comparing any 2 things to, I like synonym, antonym, like, unlike. Here's your picture 1 with caption, picture 2 with caption, quote and quote. Now, Jenny, if your kids did this, would they be ready to write a paragraph about this subject?
Yeah, I actually, like, as soon as you brought this up, it made me think about how we're starting the year with personal essays.
Yeah.
And how this could be like a good piece of the writing workshop to prepare. Like, I was just that quotes, like, we're trying to encourage them to use like, a quote from you about why Mario is the best video game, or a friend about why,
Right.
you think this is the great In-N-Out is the best burgers or whatever.
Exactly.
And
And
so,
they can
like,
use the internet to find the third person quote.
right, yeah.
And
And then
it's
they could use
hilarious
this to
because
build a paragraph.
the kids will tell me, I can't find a third person quote about Caesar. I'm like, bro, it's in books. You have to find it. It's not labeled third person quote, right? You have to find it. So and it's such a great writing practice because again, in a standard classroom, the kids are going to have way more information than they need to do a classic 5-sentence paragraph, a hamburger. Here are some 4th graders at work, you guys. This is 4th grade. They're doing one on this. They were doing this for their science class, which is another good little off point thing. If you're self-contained, okay, you can use this activity in science. So now you have two genres going on in your language arts class at once. Over here in language arts, I can be doing in language arts, I could be doing narrative, and over here I'm doing infolit. I'm doing two genres at once, Jenny. I don't have to teach it to them because it's just a format they use, right? So check this out. So this is a thick slide, and I'm going to show you the highlights again. Now it's fourth grade, so she modified it a little bit. She took out the subtitle. So the title is copper. We're going to compare copper and iron, which is funny. They've got little Minecraft blocks. Fact 1, fact 2, fact 3, fact 4. Here's your quote. And then here is on when this teacher did it, she modified it so that what's a real life thing that's made out of copper. Well, that is a Google search activity, isn't it? So there's copper, same class, fourth grade. Here comes coal. Notice that the kid is picking a thematic background that goes with it. And guess what you have? Same elements here. 4 facts, a quote about it, 2 pictures, and then comparing coal and copper. And so it's just a nice framework for kids. And then this teacher did a really cool thing last year. What she did was she tracked her student progress. So check this out. I wish the picture was better, you guys, but this is what she did. This is their first repetition. You guys notice the progression of skill between the first rep and the fourth rep where they're doing Rosa Parks. And that's really what I'm looking for in the repetitions, that kids are comfortable with the format and they keep getting better and better at the format. And I got a couple of little happy ones, and then we're going to do a quick hands-on. Written by one of my 5th graders and left on my desk. Next week, can you give me 2 thick slides, please? They are fun. Like, does anything make your teacher heart happier than that? Like kids asking for work. And tell me the truth, you guys. Like, am I wrong? If I can do this in 4th grade, how am I going to be in high school? I'm going to be fine. You can't give me anything in high school that's so much harder than, well, trigonometry, but that's a separate subject. um, here's another fun one from kids because I love the kid response. Look at this one. This student texts her teacher, I like to make thick slides, so I just made one for fun. And look at the title, Thick Slide at Home. That's awesome. And here's what's even better is she did it on flamingos. And again, I apologize for the small picture, but I'm going to make it bigger. Look at this. Look how much nice work she did. She realized that a flamingo and an ibis are related. So she's got her little, she made a table, uh, foods they like, things they do. She's got her 4 facts. Oh my gosh, I think this kid is 4th grade also. But isn't that the sweetest thing ever? The fact that they are now self-sufficient on Infolit in 4th grade. That is so cool. This one, Atusa and Jenny, just yell at me. What do you think? What grade level do you think this is? Just take a quick look. You don't have to rush. What grade level do you think it is?
Oh my gosh,
11th or
fourth?
12th, 11th or 12th grade.
8th grade at a Title I school.
Oh,
And wait, there's more. First year teacher.
Wow.
8th grade at a Title I school from a first year teacher. And all of them look that good. That's not like the best one. I just pulled one out for you. So let's do a quick thick slide. And I'm going to put this in the chat. You can, and you don't want to search this. You want to go to the Omnibar. And I'm going to give you 2 different ways. I put the quick link that's on the screen, and I'm also going to give you a direct link. And so on your computer, what you want to do is you want to type this info in, or copy paste it in, I should say. You want to put that in up here. This is called the Omnibar. And I'm not, I don't teach kids super techie stuff, but you need to know where the Omnibar is. That's the main bar in Google. And what most people do is they just go to the Google search, and it's not as accurate for some of our activities. So just be aware of that piece. So I'm going to hop over to our thick slides for today. That's slide 3. There we go, thick slides. And I should see you guys start hopping in there in a second. So this is just a quick fun activity. What I want you guys to do, I'm going to actually, let me delete some slides before you get going here. This is a really good example of how we might do a smart start. So I've given you guys the examples the kids did. And then what I want you to do is on each slide, there's a yellow box that says claim this slide. Claim this slide. And you just put your name there. So mine's John. And then you could, I just want to use your brain for this. And in fact, let's modify it because again, the power's out for me. So I want to go a little faster than normal. For the subject of this, put a food that you like. Just put a food that you like. So for mine, I can just, and I'm going to model and you guys can start building. I'm just going to go with tri-tip because it's right at the front of mine. And I can put the California.
We need edit access.
Oh, that's public on the, oh, okay, good. I had it shared, but not edit. Okay, thank you for that. And there you go. You guys should be good now. So I'm going to do, and if you want to watch mine for a second, I'm going to call it the CA brisket. So that is my my subtitle. Fact 1, butcher name. It's butcher cut. If you ever go back east, butcher cut NAMP 185D. And best cooked over red oak. And then fact 3, I'm only going to do 3 facts today, and I will put a slow cook roast. And I'm going to put slow cooked or smoked roast. So I've got plenty of facts. I'm going to go first person quote, and I'm going to go tri-tip is a California gem, and I'm going to quote myself on this one. Again, I'm just modeling in case you guys want to follow along. And then thing 1 is going to be brisket. And then thing 2 is going to be tri-tip. And then I'm going to just share a couple of facts. Cooks 14 to 16 hours. And cooks 45 to 55 minutes. And then second one is very fatty. And then mostly lean. So if you guys want to see, that's how quick it can be done. And then I'll add a little picture here. And I'll just grab a little tri-tip picture here. Oh, I like the cow one. That's one of my favorites. And I go to my thick slides. And I put in my caption. Now, the only thing that's going to change when I'm using this with kids is they're going to be either using their textbook or something to look it up. And I'm going to put Santa Maria made tri-tip famous. And my thick slide's done. All right, here we go. Let's see how everybody's doing so far. Oh, sweet potato black bean quesadilla. Jenny, very good call.
I got the 5th graders here pitching in. They showed me how to rotate my word art. I was like, how do I turn it so it's not in a straight line? And they're both like, oh yeah, you click the circle.
That's the fast way. Let the kids do it. Click the dot. So you guys feel free to jump in. You got Jenny in mind to modify, to model after. Don't worry about a heavy academic lift. Do something that's fun. It could be shoes. It could be your new Tesla you got this summer. It could be where you're vacationing. But I just want you guys to do enough hands-on bit that you get a feel for what it's like to be the student. And it's just such a fun little process. And here's a cool wrinkle while you guys are working. Check this out, Jenny. It's time for essays. If I do a thick slide Monday and a thick slide Tuesday and a thick slide Wednesday, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, that's exactly where my brain went. I mean, all of us to do Cotsen, do writing workshop. And
Yeah.
I just think this is like another way to teach a
Well-
mini lesson on how to prepare yourself for a paragraph.
I'm going to throw workshop a little bit under the bus because of one main thing. The idea of workshop is awesome. The problem with workshop is the feedback's too slow. And that's not the kid's fault or the teacher's fault. So what I love about thick slides is once my kids have done about 5 or 6 thick slides, they can do these in 10 minutes, which means, again, if I'm a self-contained classroom, we get done with lunch, it's time for science, thick slide, Kepler Space Telescope, go. Next day we come in, thick slide, planetary systems, go. You guys, it's so fast. And I'm grading by walking around because I know which kids are going to be fine and I know which kids are going to struggle. So I'm helping them in real time. And it's just a magical little process. And then it's my choice. We don't necessarily have to do the essay. And the other cool part is, Atusa, it's like a close read. If I give all of them one page on Ramesses, I can see how their reading comprehension is going because I'm going to pick a thing. Ooh, Sushi's moving right along very nicely there. I could pick a thing that everybody can. Uh, it's a unified reading moment, so I'm seeing how good they are at their reading comprehension aspect. And let's see. So, Jenny, my big question is, what are you going to compare the quesadillas to? What's the compare? Oh, another little tech tip for you, Jenny. It looks like you put those tortillas in as a background. This is geeky. I never do that, and here's why. It's now fighting with
It
your.
looks bad.
Well, it's fighting with your text. So watch on my
Yeah.
slide real quick. I'm going to switch back to mine. Watch mine.
I'm trying it out. I was trying, someone yesterday did a background that was like
So
an
watch
image.
this. Watch how I do this. I'm going to make this image big. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go
Put it
order,
behind.
send
Okay.
to back. But wait, there's more. Once
Okay.
I do that, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go format options, adjustments, and I'm going to lower the transparency. See how that works. That's the way I teach
I'm
my
gonna try
kids
it right
to do
now.
it. So now you have the best of both worlds. I've got my big, cool graphic, but it's not fighting with the text. And you don't get that level of control when you do background. Ooh, very nice comparison, Atusa. You're coming right along. And if you're wondering on my screen how I'm doing this thing where you can see everybody at once, there's a little guy right here that looks like a waffle since we're doing food. It's called a waffle right there. And when you click upon that, guess what happens? I can see everybody's slides. This is super handy in a Zoom environment. Also super effective when I'm in class with kids because I can leave this graphic up on my screen and I have an idea how the class is proceeding. Atusa, I think you'll like this. This is an efficiency thing. I can see how my class is coming along without having to go back to my desk and scroll through the slides. I don't have to return to desk for this. I can just keep rolling around. And on my projector, typically the names are big enough that I can see whose name. So I can just kind of Mary Poppins my way over to somebody that might be stuck. And it makes it really slick for the kids. Now, again, because I was scheduled to give you guys maybe another 10 minutes on this. But remember, I have a shortened schedule today because my power's out and I'm working off battery. So I'm going to give you guys maybe 2 more minutes. It's okay if you don't finish. And it's okay if you didn't start. At least go through and look at what people are doing. Jenny, I love the shift you made there with the quesadilla. Do you see how powerful it is for kids?
Yes, it's met with approval here. They're like,
Good.
oh, that's cool.
It looks,
Now they
it
know how
looks
to do it.
swag. Yeah, it looks swag. Hello, kid people. That's good. Our version of that in my family is street corn salsa. So you take salsa. There's no salsa in it. There's no tomatoes. You can roast some corn if you have time. You put some mayonnaise, some garlic butter. You mix it all up. You add red chili pepper. You add cheese. I dice up pickled jalapenos, and you stir that all up, and then ooh, it's gone in 5 minutes. It goes really fast. And then for anybody that's noticing here on Atusa's slide, she has an animated GIF. If you guys want to do that, you can look at my screen. I'm going to type in tri-tip GIF. I don't even know if there's any tri-tip GIFs. Maybe this one works. Let's see. Nothing there yet. Ooh, there we go. So if you don't know how to add GIFs to your slides, which is another thing I try to teach kids the first day, the trick to it is fairly simple. I'm going to right click on however your machine right clicks. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go copy image address. Then I go back to my slides and I'm going to go like this, insert image by URL. And then I hit paste. And now I have a cooking tri-tip in my slide. And I can also use the shape tool to give it a unique outline. And so I can do, again, those I think are very important little skills for kids to have because it allows them to be more and more creative in their sharing of their ideas. That's awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds each to share real quick. Even though if you're not done, it's totally cool. Get 5 seconds to share. Here's another thing that I teach my kids, and I think you'll like this a lot too. Said, please don't read me the slide. What I tell kids is share the big idea. We can read. We can read. I don't need you to read me the slides, you guys. Share the big idea. So, Jenny, I'm going to give you a few seconds to process. What's your big share? You've got a total of 5 seconds. And what we're doing is modeling the same model that we would use with thin slides, except now it's 6 slides. What is the key emphasis of information that you can give me in about 5 seconds? Are you ready, Jenny? Okay, here we go.
These are a healthy dinner that make everyone happy.
Boom. That could have been your subtitle too. Atusa, give me some important facts about your slide.
Well, a lot of people say they don't like to eat sushi because they don't like fish, but actually the word sushi refers to the rice. And so you actually eat sushi with other ingredients that doesn't have to be fish.
Right on. Well, my wife's a big sashimi fan, so she loves that stuff. Okay, our first new person, KJ, remember, just the essence. You don't have to do the whole thing. I love where this is going. Oh, and KJ has dogs barking. KJ, you can just text in a couple things in the chat, and then I'll read them out for you when you're ready. No worries. Okay. Oh, look at this. Very nice. Janet and Mary Beth teaming up, working together.
Are we unmuted? We were talking.
I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
So we did hatch chili mac and cheese. So we decided that it is a budget-friendly, yummy comfort food for the whole family.
Bing, bang, boom. Okay, I love it. All right, Amy. Ooh, egg tacos. Heck yeah. This should be popular with Jenny's family, is my guess. Kids, can I get a thumbs up? And the KJ shared, Chicago pizza is the best pizza. Drop the mic. KJ, question. I am a crust guy. The edges are the thing for me on the Chicago deep dish. It's that whole boiled bubbly cheese edge. Is that your deal, or are you more of a middle person? Okay, and then Amy, KJ's like, I'll take it all. Okay, let's see. Alice. I think Alice was with us yesterday too.
I was here yesterday.
Yay!
Hi.
I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
the same Alice.
so It is. Sorry, I was a little late today. I actually did the same thing as Atusa. I did sushi, but I actually did sashimi. I did the difference between sushi and sashimi. So one's
Oh,
with rice and one's without.
now again, think of
Um,
kids in your class doing this. We're doing the same thing from opposite directions. There's a really cool subtlety of that. And I think you were going to jump in, Atusa.
I was just gonna say, can you tell Alice and I work together?
Yeah, there's some similarities here.
Yeah,
We
there
should
you
do
go.
you should do a Venn diagram of each other. That's a
Right.
fun activity. Okay, okay. I don't know who's this is, but inside of egg roll. So they don't. Ooh, wait a minute. I need to know more about this. So you're just
All right, it's
ditching,
me, Shannon.
you're
I'm
just ditching the
jumping in.
shell.
Yeah,
Oh my
super
God.
easy. Sorry, I have a barking dog as well.
That's okay. So no shell. It's all the stuff you love about an egg roll, but you've gotten rid of the carbs on the outside.
Yep, and it's really quick to make, so very fast you can make it and be done. And very
I got to
quick.
share this to my daughter. She's a big keto person. Very nice. Wendy.
Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
was trying to find the slide. I'm doing chicken fettuccine Alfredo. So fettuccine is a type of pasta that means little ribbons. Oh, I just read it. I'm not supposed to read it, right?
That's fine. You did it.
Oh,
You
okay.
nailed it. You're a winner.
Okay, thanks.
Great job. Okay, so what do you guys think? Feel free to throw something in the chat. How easy is this? What a great
These
way to
kids
get to
are
know
all
your
like,
kids.
can we do this? They're
Yeah,
gonna
first
learn
day of
about it.
school.
They're
First day of
already
school. I'm
like,
getting to know the kids, but here's the thing. I'm putting cheese on the broccoli here because they're also learning how to format a paragraph for a high degree of success when they're in their academic class. Now, for my TK3 people, they're like, John, this is cool, but my kids can't do this. Do it as a whole group activity, you guys. Just do it as whole group. Give kids either a picture to reference, or if they have, if in third grade they're reading to some degree, right? Give them a little something to read that they all read, and then you can facilitate it whole class on your interactive whiteboard. And so you're still getting the same academic goals. You're just not counting on every kid being able to do them all independently. So I would love if you guys want to pop into the chat, my TK3 folks. It's a great circle time activity that's more academic. I can teach kids title, subtitle, fact, quote. I can lead them through that. So they're getting really good academic content at an early age. So again, if you guys want to either unmute or let me know in the chat if that works for you, but that's an easy K3 modification. Would you agree, Atusa? Totally viable?
Totally. And I think one of the things we said yesterday was how, as a TK through second grade teacher, I can start off doing this whole group together.
And then maybe by Christmas, you can spin it off. Ooh, would you guys like to try doing a thick slide by yourself? What? And especially with second and third grade, they'll be ready for that challenge by about mid-year. They'll be ready for that. This isn't, go ahead.
I would like to ask a question about introducing it. So in like, even, with something low, like your favorite food or something at the beginning of the year, are you showing them examples like you showed us, or are you kind of just giving them the template? Like,
it's teacher's choice on that. So I have two methodologies. The one is what you're saying. I could show them some and say, this is what it looks like if it's right, which I love to do because the kids will be more aggressive if they know what it looks like when it's right. The other way I can do it is I can do it cold turkey and see what I've got. So there's not a right or wrong answer, but here's my fun story for you, Jenny. I believe I wrote the book on Sketch and Tell, like it's on Amazon, and my kids were sucking at Sketch and Tell. They were bad. So I said to the kids, I go, okay, I think I'm not explaining this well enough. I'm going to put this on me. So I went on Twitter and I looked up the hashtag Sketch and Tell, and I got 8 or 10 good ones. And I showed it to my kids and I go, I think I'm explaining this wrong because this is what other kids think it looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like, you guys. And it was amazing. Within 2 days, my kids had popped right up to that level. I was missing something. And I was okay with that because it's not about being perfect. It's about getting results. Like I'm greedy about results. I don't care how we get there. And so I think there's definitely two schools of thought. You can do it as a pre, and give them no info, and you can just do it on your own. Here's a graphic I would like you guys to take a look at later, but all the protocol stuff is based on this right here. Cognitive load. How much can I handle at once? Okay. Working memory. This is why I didn't ask you guys to open a new tab and do this, although I could tell some people did a little research, especially on fettuccine. So bravo. All these pieces. Split attention effect. When students have to process two sources of information to understand the material, it places a burden on their working memory. The cost of switching between sources means students remember less of the content. And I really, really, really like the ladders over here. I like this part. Worked examples. This is a problem that has already been solved for the student with every step fully explained. I think this is kind of where you were going, Jenny, right? Here's what it looks like when you're right. Independent problem solving. Now, here's what's cool about protocols. Imagine that I'm using Jenny's idea, which is I'm over instructing the kids. I'm giving them models, 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 models. Then what I do is I switch it up and I go like this. Do a thin slide on anything you want. Do a thick slide on anything you want. Now I have removed those constraints and they can do one on flamingos or Michael Jordan or whatever. Now they're truly working independently within the same exact framework that we were using before. And I think there's some really magical brain powers there. All right, next slide. Now we're going to move into Sketch and Tell, which is another great one for all grades. For the record, for my TK3 people, I've done this with kindergarten kids that don't even know me. And here's how I start. Jenny, this is a great blend actually of your idea. I walk in with a piece of paper. At the top it says Sketch and Tell. I give it to the TKs and the ones and I go, draw your favorite animal. Go. And so I give them 5 minutes to scribble. Okay, turn and talk to somebody at your table. Tell them things about your animal. Then I say, write down as best as you can some of the words you use, some of the things you talked about. And that's Sketch and Tell. Then I have them flip the paper over and I say, here's a picture of bugs. Draw your bug and tell me 3 things you see on the bug. Boom, boom, boom. It's really simple flow. But you can take, I'm going to show you guys some Sketch and Tells that go all the way through high school level. And my co-author Marlena kind of crafted this one based on show and tell because she thought everybody loves show and tell. So basically what we do is we give kids a singular source. They each get one slide and then they explain by drawing and they explain by writing. It's that elegant. But here's the trick. No screenshots, no JPEGs. They have to build it all. So there's none of this 3 pictures and go business. And then we can end with a gallery walk to make sure all the kids are seeing all the things. So Sketch and Tell is very popular with science teachers, for one example. And check this out. I love this one, Atusa. I would love your reaction to this. This is my friend Adriana. Her husband is a PE teacher teaching geometry for the summer. And she says, hi there, I see you. My honey is a PE guy teaching geometry for the summer. No sweat. Edu protocols and Sketch and Tell take any content and facilitate learning experiences, even when the teacher isn't an ace in the material. Now, the fun backstory is 1 year before this, Adriana had texted me and she said, I teach Spanish and they're making me teach science this year. What do I do? And I go, you know the protocols. You know the protocols. Open up the science textbook, and when it says mitosis, decide which protocol will help the kids to know mitosis. And she goes, oh my God, Sketch and Tell, we're going to do mitosis. And she had a great time without knowing much about the content at all. And here, I'll zoom in on it for you guys a little bit. Basically, this kid's word was hypotenuse, and they were working on adding some facts about hypotenuse. So it's that simple. It's really an agile way to teach any content. And I'm going to go to the next slide here. Here is, this is 4th graders, you guys. This is 4th graders. They watched a video. Again, now this is, I think, such a great example of what I've been talking about all morning. They want to learn how to make Adobe. So the teacher shows them a YouTube video. Great idea. How do we make sure the kids know what they learned? Really easy. they do a sketch and tell. Look at this kid's work here on explaining how you make Adobe. And notice no images. And look at the tell. When you make Adobe bricks, first you have to make a hole and get the clay mud and put the straw in the mud. Then you have to get the mud and put the mold and put the mud in it and do that until the mold is full. And she goes on and on and on. So fun, so creative, artistic, open-ended. It's all the things we love about teaching. And what's her lesson planning time, Atusa? I need a video and some blank slides. I'm gone. Wednesday's handled. And then the grading time, also, they're getting immediate feedback. What Rosenstein say? Immediate feedback. And, you know, those kinds of things. So here's another example of sketch and tell. This is 5th grade. They watched a mystery science, which is a very popular curriculum. They watched a mystery science video, and they're learning about wells and aquifers. So I'm going to zoom in on this one too, you guys. Look at what the 5th graders are building. They started with a blank slide. How are they doing, Jenny?
Yeah, so learning how to draw in Google Slides. I think that's
I'm going
what
to show you
watch-
guys.
Okay,
I'm going
I
to show
gotta
you
watch
guys right now. I'm going to show you guys right now because it's not as hard as saying. This one blew me away. This is 3rd graders. 3rd graders. Look at these drawings. Oh my God. And she had them start for fun. Who's your favorite character from Star Wars? And now check it out, Atusa. We're doing character traits in 3rd grade. We're doing high academic standards, and kids are having a super fun time. I love the Chewbacca. I love that Chewbacca. And the Grogu's pretty good too. Again, planning time, Jenny. I just need a question and some blank slides. Now we're getting a little older. I think this is Adriana, the the Spanish teacher, teaching science last summer. Notice, and I'm starting to answer your question here, Jenny. See how they're using the shapes to create really it's not a draw as much as it is creating like a tableau. Okay. And who feels like this kid understands what an eclipse is at this point? I feel pretty good about this. What's my grading time? Like a 1.2 seconds. Here is chemistry, 10th grade. Now in this model, what the teacher did was they had some scaffolded questions they asked based on the text. Totally valid way to do it. Here's another one. You guys, this is 11th grade chemistry. If you could draw your own atoms, what is your level of mastery, Atusa? If you can draw your own atoms, what's your level of mastery?
TK.
If you can draw your own atoms, you have mastered the content. Okay. So I was going to give you guys one to draw. So here's a template you can have. But instead of that, I'm going to answer Jenny's question. I'm going to show you guys how drawing works instead of letting you draw, because I want to get on to the last 2 protocols here today before I run out of time. So basically, here's what a sketch and tell looks like. And so this is what the kids get. So Jenny, just give me any kind of basic word or concept your kids might need to know how to do. Think simple. Volcano, rain cycle.
Yeah, the water cycle.
Okay, so water cycle. So watch this. I'm going to use these guys right here. Hey, there's a cloud. Boom. What else do I need in the water cycle? I need the sun. Hey, there's a sun. Now I need mountains. I'm going to get a little more creative with the mountains. Watch how I'm going to do the mountains, Jenny. Go like this. And I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to make a couple mountains. These are metaphors. They're not meant to be photorealistic. I need some ocean. Would you agree? I need some ocean. So I'm going to go like this now. Now watch this. There's a line we never use. If you have kids with Chromebooks that have a touch screen, watch this, Jenny. Scribble. I now have ocean. I need some raindrops. That's not a problem. The Google provides. Hey, there's some raindrops right there. But what I got to do is spin them a little bit. Your kids know what I'm talking about. And then I can hit Command D to make more raindrops. And then I think I need a river. Do I need a river? So I'm going to go back to the scribble tool. Actually, what's even faster, what I teach the kids is, it is faster than drawing again. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Is just Command D for duplicate. And now I'm going to spin this and I'll make it fatter with my line tool here. And I'll make it blue. I'm colorblind, so thank goodness for these rollovers. And how's my rain cycle looking? Oh, and I could do this on my raindrops if I want to. On the paint bucket, you can go to gradient and you have fancier choices. So I can make my clouds look a little better. Let's make the sun yellow while we're at it. There you go. So the way that I will start this with my human children in my class would be something like this. Draw me do a sketch and tell of your favorite frozen dessert. Do a sketch and tell of your the next tennis shoe that you want to acquire. And just like that. And then over here, what I have the kids do is item 1, item 2, item 3. And I can make that part as academic and fancy as I want. So does that help, Jenny?
Yeah, everybody here is, it's a big hit.
Yeah. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, this is again what I love about protocols is they're not bound to technology. My friend in Cincinnati, Adam Moeller, he does mold and tell. He goes to the dollar store and buys everybody Play-Doh. They mold it and then they take a picture of their build and they put it in the slide. He also uses gummy bears and he also uses Oreos. So his kids build and eat in some cases. So it's a very high interest activity and a great way to start the school year. So that sketch and tell, you guys, like I said, I'm bummed because I have my power situation. I was going to go hands-on, but hopefully the simple elegance of that works for you guys. Now I'm going to do another super fun one. This is the random emoji power paragraph. Did I show you this one before, Jenny? Okay. So this one I'm going directly after writing. I'm going after writing because writing is every kid and every teacher's worst day ever. I don't want to grade it on the weekends. The kids don't get it better, blah, blah, blah. So this is how random emoji works. In random emoji, what we do is I'm going to give kids 1 to 5 random emoji. Have your kids ready for this one, Jenny. We quickly compose based on the emoji, and then I give the kids immediate feedback. And then at the end, we do a nacho version, which is, what do you call cheese that's not yours is nacho cheese. So paragraphs that are not yours are nacho paragraphs. So what I'm going to do, and you guys have the link here, I'm going to open this up. eduprotocols.com/class. We have our own special web page for this. And watch how slick this is. We just basically go through here and I've got animated emojis and I go like this, main idea. And I can switch it until it's one I like. Oh, and they're all filtered too, by the way, you guys. So there's no guns or bombs or hypodermic needles. And then I go emoji 2. And then I go emoji 3. And then I go emoji 4. And then I go emoji 5. And the kids' goal, the goal of the students is to hook them all together because the hamburger paragraph doesn't work very well based on what I'm seeing in class. So you give kids 5 random emoji, they write 5 sentences, and they try to come up with something. You guys, I need to pause just for a second. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this random emoji thing is free. And you can add a timer if you like. So let's say I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. Here we go. And we go new emoji. New emoji. New emoji. Jenny, do your kids want to try going for it? You want to just do a real one?
Yeah, they
Okay, here
just
we go.
did one for the bear. They
Okay,
did it.
main idea. Main idea.
Juggling. Okay, juggling.
Okay, make it a
Yep,
sentence.
make it a sentence. My mom was juggling a lot of tasks.
There once was a man who was. There was a guy who worked for a circus, and he liked to juggle balls.
Perfect. Okay, next one.
Ooh.
And he got proposed to. And he got some jewelry.
Someone proposed.
Okay, and next one.